Hi, I'm Sandi Genovese, and we're going to make a three-dimensional calendar today. Here is the one that we're going to make. And it's kind of fun to look at, but also, I do have a smartphone and tablets and I keep schedules on those, but sometimes it's really fun to go sort of old school and have something tangible that has each of the calendar months on it. And this is for 2017. So I was looking to see, here you can see is January. Here is February. If you're really smart, you could assemble them so that if February has Valentine's in it, maybe you want that to be red or pink. I wasn't that smart. I just kind of did whatever color was sitting in front of me when I was attaching them. But the beauty of making it yourself is you can personalize it however you want. In order to do this, I'm going to give you a couple of patterns that you can download. So if you look here at the table, this is the pattern that you will need to create this outside pentagon. And it's a pentagonal shape with these tabs, which is how you're going to glue them all together. This is how you get the outside shape. Then for the calendar shapes, I went online and I found calendars that didn't have tabs that were meant for you to actually fold up. So what I've done is I've taken the fold lines and I've made them solid so that all you need to do is cut on all of the solid lines, and it will give you the pentagon shape for each month that we're going to place inside these. So if you look at how to start, you'll take this pattern, put it in your copy machine, and run off colored paper. But if your machine won't take construction paper or won't take cardstock, copy paper will work. But if you want thicker paper, then instead of copying it, you can take your pattern, make multiple copies of it, and staple around the outside edges, and then go ahead and cut out your shapes. You want to cut on the pattern on all of the solid lines, and you're going to fold on all of the dotted lines. So let's just take one, and I'll show. You're going to just come in here, and I think, for me anyway, the easiest thing was, I like to get rid of the black line, so I'm trying to just cut inside the black, and I find it easiest to ignore all those little corners. I'm going to go back and cut those at the end. You may find a system that's better for you, because you are going to need to cut 12 of these. So by the time you've cut a couple, you may think, you know what, I think it'd be faster if I did this or I did that. So, like I said, I want to try to cut the black off. If I missed cutting it off, I'll go back and trim it off later. Once you have that, then I went back in and I cut out these little notch areas like so. That was, for me, what was the easiest. And then I won't stop to do the whole thing, but you're going to do this all the way around because it's a pentagon. You're going to have to do this 5 times. So when you've cut all of the shapes out, you're going to have all 12 of them like you see here. Once you've cut on all the solid lines, like I said, you're going to fold on all the dotted lines. So if you have, I have a little, I should have brought it. I have a little tool that allows me to score with dotted lines or to score with crease lines. And I think that you probably can see better if I use the dotted lines. But you could just use crease if that, because it doesn't show as much. And you can go ahead and fold on these. I'm going to fold on all 12. And what I did was I picked 12 kind of rainbow colors. If you look at the table, you can see I have them all set up. So I used 12 different colors for my pentagon shapes. You could do your calendar just all of them one color, or as you work your way around, you could alternate 2 different colors. Be kind of fun to play with different patterns. But I'm going to stop, and I'm going to just fold on all of my pentagons. Now, as I'm folding these, I wanted to mention that Ellison also has a die. It's called Elastic Geometrics. and it's a 3-die set. If you happen to have kids in school and they have this die at the school, they will most likely let you use the die to cut these shapes yourself if you bring in your own paper. So check and see if that's also an option. Once you have everything cut and folded, now you want to attach the calendar shapes that are going to go inside. So once again, you're going to take the pattern and then just run it through. Let me bring these up. You can see that I've gone ahead and I've already cut out, if I'll move it, you can really see. I've cut around the outside edges, and I tried to really be sure and cut off the black so that there wouldn't be any black showing. And I'll start with February. I'm going to just, with my scissors, I'm going to do the same thing. I need to cut all of these out, but I need each shape. So I carefully, when I get to the edges, and if black ends up showing on one of them, then you can go back and just lightly trim right close to that edge. So you're going to, I'll do 3 of them, because in order to at least start to put it together, you need to have all of the calendar sections need to be fastened before you start your assembly. So it looks like I have selected February, April, and March, although of course it doesn't really matter. You would keep going, cut all of these out, cut all of these out, and then go ahead and attach them. So I'm just going to add adhesive onto the back. You're going to use more adhesive than I have. Since this is February, I think I might either pick red or pink. And then I'll use my tweezers so my hands are sort of out of the way. I want to position it so I have what looks like an even amount all the way around the edges. They're both perfect pentagons, so it should nest perfectly. Just place that in the center. And then in order to start to attach these together so you can see how it goes together, I need to place at least 2 more of these on here. So March, since that would include St. Patrick's Day, I think I'll do one of the green ones. Try to get it sort of even spaced on there. And then April, oh gosh, April, what could be flowers, the April showers, I don't know. I will go ahead and I'll put this on one of the yellow ones. And you can see how there's a little black line showing. When you do this, make sure you get rid of all those black lines before you fasten them down. It just looks better when you're done. You're going to place all of the months on all 12. Then it's time to assemble, and there really is no rhyme or reason. It goes together so easily. You're going to put adhesive on the outside tabs. So this is going to attach, let's say, and because you're going to hand move it, it doesn't matter there. It doesn't matter if one is upside down to the other, because when you look at it, you just position it so that the side that's the correct month is the one that faces you. And then I'll put adhesive on these 2. You know what? It seems to me that when I did this, I put adhesive on all of the tabs first. So you know what? It's much easier before you've started to place any of these layers together. Go ahead and put adhesive on all, I'm going to even put more on there, on all the edges as you attach them. So that one has some adhesive. I'll add a little more. Now, and I'm going to do this 3rd one, so I need adhesive on these 2. Okay, now I'm not going to have to go back later and figure out how to flatten it in order to add adhesive later. So I'm going to fasten 2 together and then open this up and add these. So you can see how I've started with 3. You just keep building. You're going to take the next shape, pretend like it's already got the calendar on there, and the next one, and you just keep building. It is not difficult at all to do, but it's so cool. And when it's finished, you get this really bright, colorful calendar that I just leave sitting out. It seems like you want to look up and see, what day of the week is somebody's birthday on. So instead of having to go pull out your phone, it's handy to just have this and just look up that on February 7th happens to be a Tuesday. Even with your smartphones and your tablets, sometimes I just like to go old school with a 3-dimensional paper calendar.